You sit in this emptiness and think the universe is punishing you. Friends have disappeared, relationships have fallen apart, work has lost its meaning. It feels as if someone is methodically taking away everything that made life understandable and predictable. Every morning, you wake up with the hope that something will change today, and by evening, you sink back into the same hopeless silence. The phone is silent. No messages arrive. Plans collapse one after another, and you start to think that something is wrong with you. But what if this isn't a punishment? What if this is the most precise and merciful way to lead you to what you truly came here for? What if the universe hasn't forgotten you, but on the contrary, is paying special attention to you, preparing you for something important? You see, each of us has two voices. The first is the chorus of the external world. It consists of thousands of opinions, expectations, social programs, and others' fears. This voice is loud, intrusive. It never falls silent. From morning till night, it bombards you with instructions: how to dress, what to think, what to strive for. It tells you that success is measured by salary, that happiness depends on the number of likes, that your worth is determined by the opinions of other people. This voice creates the illusion that you are living your life, when in reality, you are living out someone else's script. You choose a profession that your parents approve of. You start relationships that look right in the eyes of society. You buy things that are supposed to make you happy, but for some reason, they don't. And gradually, you forget who you really are beneath all these layers of others' expectations. And the second voice is quiet. So quiet that it can only be heard in absolute silence. This is the voice of your true essence, your purpose, your unique code that you brought into this world. This voice doesn't shout or demand attention. It simply knows. It knows why you are here. It knows your true gifts, which may be completely different from what is expected of you. It knows the path that will lead you to self-realization, even if that path seems strange or illogical to others. The problem is that as long as there is noise around you, people, entertainment, hustle, constant movement, an endless flow of information, it's impossible to hear the second voice. It drowns in the cacophony of the first, like a quiet melody playing in the next room that you can't hear because of the loud music in your headphones. And the universe, like a caring parent who sees their child has gone astray, begins to gradually remove the sources of noise, not out of cruelty, but out of boundless love. Because it knows, until you hear your true voice, you will live someone else's life and suffer from an inner emptiness, even if everything looks prosperous on the outside. Isolation is not an accident or a punishment. It is a sacred space, specially created for an encounter with yourself. It is a time when all masks fall away, all social roles become irrelevant, and you are left one-on-one with who you really are. Not with the image you created for others, but with the real you, with all your fears, dreams, unfulfilled desires, and hidden talents. In this emptiness, there is no room for pretense. There is no one to lie to, and no reason to play a role. For the first time in a long time, you can just be. And at first, this is terrifying, because you are used to defining yourself through your relationships with other people, through their reactions to you, through constant comparison and competition. Do you know what the most painful part of this process is? Not the loneliness itself. What's painful is realizing how much in your life was not your own. How many decisions you made out of fear of disappointing someone. How much energy you spent maintaining an image that you didn't even like yourself. How many years you lived without even asking the question, and what do I want? Isolation works like a skilled surgeon. It cuts away everything superfluous, everything artificial, everything that prevents your true self from manifesting. But unlike regular surgery, there is no anesthesia here. You feel every cut, every removal. It's painful because you considered many of these layers to be a part of yourself. You thought your value depended on how many people surrounded you. You believed your significance was determined by social status or the number of achievements on your resume. You were afraid to be alone with yourself because you subconsciously felt that beneath all these roles, there might be emptiness. What if you remove all external confirmations of your worth, and it turns out there's nothing inside? This fear kept you in constant motion, in an endless race for recognition, dependent on others' approval. But the universe patiently shows you the opposite. All these external crutches have nothing to do with who you are deep down. Your value does not depend on external recognition. Your strength is not measured by the number of contacts in your phone book. Your significance is inherent in the very fact of your existence. You are valuable not for what you do, but for who you are. In the silence of isolation, you begin to distinguish where you end and others' programs begin. You discover thoughts that were never yours. They came from parents, teachers, friends, from movies and books. Desires that were imposed on you by advertising and social media. Fears that you absorbed from the news and conversations around you. And gradually, all of this begins to fall away, like old skin after a sunburn. This process is painful, but absolutely necessary. A snake cannot grow without shedding its old skin. A butterfly cannot be born without destroying the cocoon. And you cannot become yourself without freeing yourself from everything that is not you. Every layer that falls away reveals something more authentic underneath. Every day in isolation is a chance to hear your voice a little more clearly. Every night in solitude is an opportunity to feel your true desires, unclouded by others' opinions. A technical point. If these words resonate with what is happening in your life, click subscribe. This is a sign that the information has hit its mark. We also have a Telegram channel. In the emptiness of isolation, something amazing begins to happen. When the usual noise of the external world disappears, when there is no need to constantly react to others' expectations, when you stop playing your usual social roles, something that has been dormant for years awakens within you. At first, it's barely noticeable. A slight change in perception. A new perspective on old things. Ideas that come from somewhere deep inside. You may notice that you start to see the world around you differently. What used to seem important suddenly loses its relevance, and what you never paid attention to begins to catch your eye. Colors become brighter, sounds clearer. It's as if you are tuning into a different frequency of perception. At first, this can be frightening. You discover thoughts in yourself that never occurred to you in the company of other people. Feelings that were suppressed by the need to be normal and convenient for others. ideas that seemed too strange or ambitious to voice out loud, desires that didn't fit into the framework of your usual life. This is your true self beginning to assert itself. It was always there, from the moment you were born, but it couldn't break through the thick layer of others' expectations and social masks. Now that the space has been cleared of external noise, it finally has the opportunity to unfold to its full power. You may notice that your interests begin to change radically. Books that used to captivate you no longer resonate. Films you considered interesting seem empty, and things you never showed an interest in, art, philosophy, working with your hands, caring for nature, suddenly begin to attract you with an irresistible force. This is not a coincidence or a result of boredom. This is your true nature showing you the direction in which your destiny lies. The interests that awaken in silence come not from the mind, which wants to impress others, but from the soul, which knows why you came into this world. Many are frightened by these changes and try to return to their old lives. They start frantically restoring broken connections, calling old friends, returning to former habits and entertainments. But the universe returns them to the void again and again, because the transformation process is not yet complete. Transformation is not a quick process. It requires time, patience, and the courage to remain in uncertainty. A caterpillar does not turn into a butterfly in one day. First, it must completely dissolve in the cocoon, become a formless mass, lose everything it considered to be itself. This period of dissolution is the most terrifying because the old is gone and the new is not yet here. There is only the chaos of transformation. And only then, when the process is complete, a new creature is born from this chaos, winged, free, able to soar where the caterpillar could only crawl slowly on the ground. The butterfly does not remember what it was like to be a caterpillar. It is a completely different level of being. Your isolation is your cocoon, a place where the old version of you dissolves so that a new one can be born. Do not resist this process. Do not try to control every stage. Trust in the wisdom of the universe, which knows what it is doing. If you are here, in this emptiness, it means this is exactly what you need for growth right now. And now, for the most important part. In the depths of this sacred silence, when the external noise has finally subsided, when you have stopped looking for yourself in the reflections of other people, when you have learned to be alone with yourself without fear or panic, that is when you hear it. That very quiet voice, the voice of your true calling. It doesn't shout or demand immediate attention. It doesn't try to outshout other voices or prove its point. It simply is, calm, confident, unchanging. It speaks a language you understand without any dictionaries or translators. It is the language of your soul, of your deepest nature. It shows you images that resonate in the very core of your being. Perhaps they are pictures of you helping other people find themselves, or visions of works of art that you create, or scenes from a life where you are doing what brings you deep satisfaction, even if it doesn't bring much money or social recognition. This voice calls you to a place where you may have been afraid even to dream of going. It may suggest you leave a stable but stifling job for an uncertain but vibrant path. It may push you to move to another city, or even another country. It may call you to start doing something you know nothing about, but which for some reason attracts you like a magnet. Your calling does not have to be grandiose in the eyes of others. It doesn't have to fit into conventional ideas of success or achievement. The main thing is that inner yes that you feel with your whole being when you think about it. That unconditional knowledge that this is yours. Not because someone said it was right or profitable, but because every cell in your body responds to this call. Perhaps your calling is in simple things, in growing flowers and sharing their beauty with the world, or cooking food that not only satisfies hunger, but also warms people's souls, or telling stories that help others understand themselves, or simply being the person people come to for comfort and understanding. Or maybe your path leads to something on a larger scale, to creating projects that will change the lives of thousands of people, to writing books that will open new horizons of thought, to developing technologies that will make the world more just and beautiful. The size doesn't matter. Only authenticity matters. The only thing that matters is that this path comes from your true nature, not from a desire to impress or meet someone's expectations. Isolation was necessary precisely for this, for you to hear this quiet but powerful call, to distinguish it among the thousands of other voices that used to drown it out, to feel it as completely your own, familiar, like the beating of your own heart. Now that you hear it, the emptiness begins to fill with deep meaning. Loneliness turns into a sacred space of preparation for a new life. Silence becomes a creative workshop where you create a plan to bring your purpose into reality. You are no longer a victim of cruel circumstances. You are a chosen one, undergoing an ancient initiation. You are a seed that had to be plunged into the darkness of the earth to gather strength to sprout. You are a future master of your craft who had to go through the trial of solitude to find the ability to create in full accordance with your true nature. The pain of isolation was the pain of birth. You were giving birth to a new you, one who knows their path, who hears the voice of their soul, who is ready to go where their heart calls, even if that path is incomprehensible and frightening to others. If this text has started a process of recognizing your own calling in you, write, "I hear the call," in the comments. Let these words be your declaration to the universe that you are ready to listen and follow. Nobody